Hello everyone! Today we are going to take a look at part 2 of the series Let's Play Age of Empires, the card game. So, in the previous episode we have discussed the basics of the card game, the setup, and what these cards do that lay here. What the tokens do, what the decks are, what the discard piles are, how many cards you start with, how many resources you start with, and what the civilization bonuses are for the Goths. Now today we are going to our very first phase in the game, that is the collection and upkeep phase. In this phase you can remove villagers from production buildings and place those resources they collected into your resource supply. So for example, if you remove 4 villagers from a lumber camp, you gain 4 wood units. The villagers removed from resource cards are removed from play and placed in the villager pool. And then any villagers in the village pool may be reallocated for production in the allocation phase. So we will just simply collect resources in this phase. Now resources don't expire unless a specific event removes them. Then after the collection will be the upkeep, and the upkeep is now paid for some buildings that need upkeep. A building will say that it will need upkeep. Right, so that's it for the collection and upkeep phase. As it is turn 1, we have no villagers allocated anywhere, so we will simply skip it because we also don't have any upkeep to pay. So we will just skip this phase for turn 1. We of course come back to it later on, and we go straight into the construction phase. So during construction you can either build new buildings or build one of these face down cards. Now my only guess for these face down cards here is that it is filtered out. You can choose what to begin with, to have fixed in play from the start. When you play a building, you have to pay, of course, what you need to pay, and it gets played face up. These cards, if you pay the cost of these cards, they are simply faced up and active. You can then immediately start using the building as you see fit. These cards cannot be changed in location, so think about where you play them. Buildings played must be next to another building, so you cannot have it like this. So you can actually form a grid. Right, so how do you pay for a card, for a building? You must remove a number of villagers from the town center equal to the builder number on the card and place them in the villager pool. So they are simply being placed somewhere else. So let's take a look at this card here. We have 1 wood and 1 villager. We will build this card because we want to play other cards this turn for the purpose of teaching the game, not because it is smart to do so. Right, so it says here 1 wood and 1 villager. So we place it face up, remove 1 villager from the town center to the villager pool, and remove 1 wood from our resource pool. So now we have played a house, and it doesn't say that you can only build 1 thing at a time. You can just play whatever you want for as much resources that you have. So that's good. Technologies can be researched during this phase as well. So here we have a research card. It's basically an upgrade, as you can see, upgrade. This symbol here, the book, the little book, is how many villagers must be allocated to this technology to research it. And every turn you can remove 1 of the villagers, and once they are all gone, it is researched. Yeah, and then it is active as well. So yeah, technology takes time to take effect, to be completed. So if you want to research man-at-arms, in this case you place 1 on there, and the next turn it is removed. So this will take 1 turn to complete. Now, for example, if you want to go to the castle age, presuming you are in the feudal age, it needs 2 villagers and thus 2 turns to complete. And so you cannot rush through the ages. More on technologies later. So this is it for the construction phase. You can construct buildings or research technologies however way you like. You can also play relics and wonders, but I will show you guys those cards once we get the hang of the game. Next up is the movement phase, and for simplicity's sake I have put 2 units down on the field with 2 different movement characteristics. Every character, just like this, every unit can move 1 space each turn. Some cards, just like the Scout Cavalry here, has a movement of 2, so it can move 2 spaces at once. So if you want to move, you cannot move diagonally, but you can move in straight lines. So this unit can move 1 space, so it can move here, or here, or here, and end its movement. The Scout Cavalry, however, moves 2, so it can just simply go from here to here, or here, or it can just go over there. Whatever you like. Just one of your units can be moved to a building the same time. So you cannot have 2 units on the same building. Now then, if you want to move to your opponent's village and attack them, you can simply go to your fringe, and the fringe is actually the farthest part of your village. It doesn't say constructed or not, because these cards are a bit special for starting the game. So fringe is the edge of your village, the edge buildings. Once you are at the fringe with 1 character, just like the Scout Cavalry is already when he's played on the house, you may either move directly to your opponent's village, or you may stop in between the 2 villages. This area is called No Man's Land, and No Man's Land will be explained later on. For movement, we have Fog of War, just like the actual game. During age 1, so the age where you start off in, Fog of War is in effect. So this means that you cannot attack or move to your opponent's village. Once a player entered age 2, the Fog of War is lifted for that player. If an age 2 player attacks an age 1 player, the age 1 player may on future turns attack the age 2 player. So yeah, you cannot actually attack or move during the Fog of War being in effect. It also says here that during movement, you may move as many units as you like, and all will move simultaneously. So you can actually decide when you're planning out, well, I will put him over here for now, and then move something else, and then later on move this. But all move simultaneously, and in the end, only 1 unit can be on a building simultaneously. Now, a unit cannot occupy a blank square on the edge of a village, like here or here, unless they have destroyed the building that was there. That's important to note as well. But you can move, you may cross a blank square in order to move farther into a village without paying the movement cost for the blank square. So, for example, if there was another building over here, and your unit is over here and can only move 1, it can actually move here without paying the cost for the blank square in between. Right, then you can move to No Man's Land as well, which is another location where units can move. No Man's Land is the land between the 2 villages, and you can move there either as a normal movement or when retreating from combat in your opponent's village. You may only attack opponent's units in No Man's Land if you have either an outpost or cartography card in play, or are playing the Mongols. An unlimited number of units may occupy No Man's Land, but only 1 unit at a time may attack another unit in no man's land. So let that be clear. You can go there for strategic purposes, just to rally your troops or whatsoever, but yeah, you can only attack one unit at a time in no man's land. And that's it for the movement phase. So as we have seen in turn 1, we don't have any units except for villagers. It doesn't say anything about villagers, but I would assume cannot move them. They're just pawns in this game. Literally pawns in this game. So only units can move. Yeah, next phase will be the attack declaration phase, which I will actually cover in the next video. So for now, this is it. Let it all consume into your mind. And see you all next time. Yeah, next time. The video will be out very soon. Probably tomorrow. Thank you all for watching and see you guys then. Bye bye.